describe John Key's comments today?
Probably unfortunate in the context of the events of this last week. Generally the Prime Minister is quite a funny person, but in the context of all of the activities of this week, I think it's probably unfortunate that he happens to choose this time to make a joke about his relationship with Tuhoe. But on the other side of the coin, it probably acknowledges that he understands the situation and what has transpired for the Tuhoe people. And that's probably important, because at least he realises that the events of this week has made a serious dent in the relationship again between Tuhoe and the Crown, and indeed Māoridom, because certainly our people, the feedback that I get from our people is that they understand the issues that Tuhoe have been raising for a long period of time, and therefore it's, as I say, unfortunate that he's used these terms and this opportunity to share a joke which is probably not in is not in the right context at this point in time.
Mr. Flavell, do you think, in the view of Phil Goff's response, which was rather muted, that the issue rather is with Tuhoe and not so much with the quip that he had, and that's the unfortunate aspect to it?
So just keep going with it?
I
haven't heard Mr. Goff.
Phil Goff said that the more serious issue was the betrayal to Tuhoe and not signing it.
Oh, I think that's a fair comment, that the substantive issue is the issue with respect to the relationship between Tuhoe and the Crown. As I say, it's just unfortunate that he happened to use this occasion to make a bit of fun out of it.
These are situations where jokes like this occur all the time. You can see them in magazines with missionaries and pots and cannibals over them. Can it not be seen in that light so much, or is it just a sensitivity of it due to the poignancy of the occasion at the moment?
I think I've got an understanding about the Prime Minister's humour to accept that the notions about cannibalism are not a part of this particular scenario. What it is about understanding and acknowledging that he has some bridges to build with respect to the Tuhoe nation on the back of what's happened this last week. That's what I take from it. Tuhoe might have another view, but I don't. It's about sort of balancing up, about sort of taking it too far. And at this point in time, all I'm saying is, under the context that we find ourselves in this week, at this timing, the joke was inappropriate.
It's inappropriate at any time, one would suggest.
Oh well, that's on the I suppose on the how you look at it. But I think that people got to understand, and perhaps the Prime Minister needs to understand, that what happened and the events of this week have had a serious impact on the ability for Tuhoe to move forward as a people. They've been working hard and face-to-face discussions with the Tuhoe nation, the Crown has, that is, over the last 18 months. They negotiated an agreement right up until last Sunday. Senior ministers involved, local bodies involved, and for all intents and purposes had agreement. How do we know? Because senior ministers, I'm told, had flights booked already to arrive this weekend for at least a celebration and the signing of a document. On Monday morning, the scenario was different, and it tells you that the Prime Minister unilaterally pulled the settlement from the table. Therefore, it has implications for every other tribe moving forward in settlements, because they will now know that at the end of the day, no matter what they negotiate in good faith with the Crown officials at senior ministerial level into the future, that can be slam dunked at the last minute by the Prime Minister in the future, and that has serious connotations for every settlement in front of the Crown from here on in. And that's why we need to take it seriously.
Was it culturally insensitive?
Culturally insensitive? I take it as a joke, an inappropriate joke at the wrong time.
I mean, John Key says it was a joke, and you accept that?
Well, he put it in a joke, but he needs to, I suppose, think about the timing and the sorts of jokes that he puts out after pulling a huge settlement for the people of Tuhoe, who have waited for a very long period of time, negotiated in good faith. He needs to think about the seriousness of those jokes if he's going to make them. Making a joke is not a problem. Thinking about the timing and the context is probably the bigger issue, and the broader connotations of those jokes on other people.
Should we expect more from our Prime Minister?
As I said, I think it's inappropriate. The timing was bad, and in the bigger context, we certainly should expect more from our Prime Minister in the context of the settlement process, because what's happened over this last week, as I say, puts in jeopardy every other settlement from here on in.
Do you see this as an insult against Maori more so than the Tuhoe?
I put it as a bad joke at a bad time, that's all.
And the relationship between Maori, the Maori Party and National, how would that stand at the moment?
The relationship between the Māori Party and the National Party is one of confidence and supply. It's always been well known that we're able we have an agreement to disagree from time to time, and that's what we have done. That's a part of the political process right here and right now. Does it affect our relationship? Well, part of the political environment right now is that we do have some high times. As we've had over the last couple of months, we have some low times. This last week has been one of those low times, but we'll move on. We keep moving forward, and our job as the Māori Party is to see if we can't work on the best interests of the constituents, namely the Tuhoe people, to bring them back, if possible, to the table with the Crown to work forward. That's going to be a huge ask, but not insurmountable, and we'll be doing our best to do that.
So it's still better working inside with National than outside?
Well, that's certainly how we view it, that we're looking long term at the relationship with National, and in any relationship you're going to have some highs and you're going to have some lows. As I say, this week hasn't been an easy week, certainly for the Tuhoe people, and they'll be talking about that over this weekend, but there are times when there's great euphoria. The declaration of the signing of the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples has been one of our highs. That we are confident we're going to have some more highs, but when it's down, there's certainly rock bottom, and that's from this electorate that I talk about and the Tuhoe people whom I've spoken about. But we'll move forward. We'll keep moving forward, and all I know is it's far better to be in a position of influence as we are at the moment than being able to simply throwing rocks and not making any gains for our people. We're thinking on the bigger term and the bigger picture into the future.
Do you think it reflects a general National Party feeling towards the Maori Party?
No, I don't. I think that our relationship with the National Party generally, in the time that I've been in Parliament, has been one of working into the future, and I think that John Key signalled a willingness to work with the Māori Party and going to the original arrangement. And we've worked constructively all the way through. As I say, there have been ups, there's been downs, and this is but a hiccup on the longer journey. And I think that it doesn't reflect necessarily all of the views of the National people. It can't do, simply because Tuhoe people had worked well with the ministers, with the officials, senior ministers we're talking about here, right up until this point in time, and it happened to be all come unstuck on Sunday night.
Thanks, Mr. Flavell. That's all I've got.
Sure.
Have you been contacted by any other iwi in regards to the comments and whether or not they're sort of worried?
The comments from today?
Yeah.
I haven't been contacted by anywhere. I've been on the road and I've been stuck with other commitments, so I haven't heard from anyone. Any more? Sorry?
Yep, that's
Hold on.
fine.
Okay.